Someday you're gonna realize what you lost in me. No way you're gonna keep me insecure. When the sun comes up, but your lights go out, who's gonna figure it out?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Lyrically Lydia, the show made for musicians by a musician, the show made for music lovers by a music lover. On today's episode, I want to present to you Fatimah Provillon. Born in Newark, New Jersey, Fatimah's unique and epic voice can be heard across land and sea on countless collaborations. Her soulful gospel voice is a true extension of all of the greatest traditions of American music. Please welcome my dear friend, Fatimah Provillon.
What's up, L Boogie?
Hello. Hi, Fatimah. The one and the only Fatimah Provillon. So, Fatimah and I go way back. We go way back. How have you been? How are you doing?
Spring allergies
Yeah.
are a thing.
Such a thing.
Yeah, but I'm good. I mean, lockdown is over, so now we're like still waiting to restart the music or whatever, but I'm good. Yeah.
So, how is it like? How has this quarantine been, and how does it feel now that things are opening up again? Does it feel like, are you nervous, or are people kind of adjusting in a way that's still respectful of the guidelines?
Now, I must say, Italians, they did get on board pretty. Once they got into that mindset, like, oh snap, it's going down. Like, it wasn't hard to get people to follow.
Yeah, that's great though, because the situation got pretty crazy.
Yeah, so it's coming along, but it's just not cool that there's no music going on right now. There's no theater. Right. There's no, so all the musicians, all the artists are like.
Well, what I do know about you is that you are from Newark, New Jersey, which is so cool, and that I know that you also grew up in the church. I think you said 5 years old that you've been singing in the choir. You've been singing as a soloist, as a chorister. I want to know, one, what was that like for you growing up, and how did you discover this beautiful voice that you have? And two, how do you think it shaped growing up in such a beautiful tradition? How do you think it shaped you as a contemporary singer now?
Well, the first part was like how.
I asked too many questions. The first part.
No.
The first question was, what was it like singing? Like, when did you discover that you had a voice? What was the moment when you were like, oh, I can sing and I want to sing?
I don't know when the exact moment was, because honestly, like, my mom literally would sing like Mahalia Jackson songs when we were kids. And so there wasn't a time when we weren't singing at home. Like, it was like listening to her voice and singing at home. And then it translated in the church. But that was, I think that like my first solo, I remember it was like, I was probably like, about 7 or 8 years old. And
That's
so, awesome. I remember people looking like, this little girl sound like a grown woman, because I grew up on Mahalia, It was like Mahalia, Shirley Caesar, whatever. So when we did, when we did start singing in church, it was like, okay, you just carried on the gospel tradition, what you heard, you're imitating those sounds from like your earliest memories. So I don't know. When people are like, okay, you got the part, I'm like, cool, this is good. Yeah. And my sister, my older sister, she's a singer. I mean, like, not a professional singer, but she could sing. My mom had a beautiful voice. She doesn't sing anymore, but it was the whole family. We would just be sitting around like, pass that, pass some collard greens. Yes, pass the peas. That's us. Like,
that's so nice. Yeah, that's beautiful. I think that's wonderful. And I think that probably maybe shaped the ideas that you have about music and your career now, like maybe even the environments you like to set yourself up in to sing, or places that you like to, you know, groups you like to sing in, or, you know,
Yeah.
band environments you like to be in. How do you think that that experience as a kid and with your family being so personal has shaped your career now and how you approach your music?
Okay, so when we were kids, we were only allowed to listen to gospel music
Hmm.
for like the longest time. And then when I was like a teenager and I got about 14, 15, I started listening to hip hop. And that was like something, it was like, wow, you know, so that was my thing when I got to my teens. How it shaped me now is, I mean, I'm very particular about the voices that I listen to because I feel like you have to give me something. Like if I'm listening to you sing, you have to give me something. I have to feel something. And so if I'm listening to someone on stage, or you know, I'm listening to a live, or I'm listening to an album, if I'm not feeling anything, it's like next. That's just me,
Yeah.
like literally. And what I'm hoping to do when like in my future live, well, not lives, in my future like stuff that I'm writing or whatever, is to be able to like bring back that old, because for me it's soul and gospel music. That's just kind of where my voice tends to go. And so yeah, yeah, that's it. Like in terms of like what I like to do, I like to do soul, and I still love hip hop. So those were kind of the things I'm looking at. But yeah, you have to give me something. I need something. Music has to give me some feeling. I can't just sit back.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's really great to be rooted in classics. I think it's really great to always know where music came from, where what we see today comes from, where it derives from, and actually always, I think, reaching back to that foundation that is so stable, so strong, and so true and so honest,
Right.
and trying to take what we can from that and keep it as contemporary as possible. And I think that's something that you're very, very able to do, and actually why I respect you so much as a singer and as a performer. Yeah, it's very true. I think you have a really honest approach to how you sing. I think you have a really skilled voice, but it's not even only something that you can take classes to learn. It's something that you took the time to explore your voice, and you can sense that it's something so personal to you. I think that's what can set apart a, a hobbyist from a professional, from an artist. And I really respect that in you and that approach you take to your music. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think
Well, I sometimes I do feel, and this is probably like me being, we're all very self, you know, deprecating at times. I feel like maybe I'm a little bit too rooted in the past because, of course, that is something that I really, really cherish. Even though like I noticed like new gospel singers have a new way of singing, which and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But I'm still kind of like old school, so it's always that I'm trying not to stay in the past. It's too far in the too far in the past, I should say. Yeah,
but I think that your classic approach is something that will always be in high demand because it is so rare. And it's also something that is easily transformed into the contemporary, right? So just you having that voice, it doesn't mean that it's too old or it's antiquated. It means that it can fit into all of the scenarios in the right way, that somebody has to, or you have to find which way you want to display it, right? You sing house. You sing so many beautiful house tracks. I was listening to what was it? I think it's called Time to Move.
Oh yeah.
It's so nice. But this is a very new and contemporary approach to how you sing, but it's still rooted in that classic way, but it's something fresh. It's not old, right?
Yeah, we're still there. Like, I mean, here it is. I think if you took away the beat and you took away, like, you know, the effects on the voice, you can still put that song into, like, you know, and the vocals into some, old school. Yeah, definitely.
Totally. And then I wanted to ask you, so as far as I know that you're also a great songwriter, I want to know when you write, it's true. I've heard your work. And I want to know, when you write your music, what inspiration do you draw from when you write?
Well, it really just depends. I mean, it's like some of the house stuff to me is a bit lighthearted, so you know, I keep it light. I don't want to talk about like social problems, you know, you know, to some house beat. You know, ain't nobody listening. Don't nobody. People try to dance. They're not listening to me talk about like high taxes, you know. So, yeah, it really just depends on like what I'm writing for. Like once I wrote a song about this, a friend of mine had me do a song for her project. So the Roma community in Bulgaria, they were being basically like, you know, exploited by people who knew that they didn't have like the proper education at times. So one girl in the community, her father was like, okay, she's not gonna get married so early. I want her to go to school. And it was like a big thing for that community, for her to go to school and get an education. And so the song was about her, and her name was, or is, Lydia, by the way. So it really just depends. But one thing I hate about a lot of songs is like what I call the mundane. There was a period where every song had we're popping bottles.
Yes.
The
models.
Dude, really? Like, come on, sir. Can you put some effort into that lyric? That's like been used 311 times.
Or the 90s, like the ballers, the shot callers.
And I'm like, okay, it went good for like the first two people who used it. For the 1400 person, no. Like, no.
Sour.
Single as hell. So, so that's just it. Trying to think of what you want to say in like the most poetic way possible. And
Well, I want to know who are, and I'm sure everybody is dying to know, who are your favorite, maybe, or the 3 artists that really inspired you the most?
Okay. I must say probably like vocally, like my favorite artist, all right, who I love to listen to is Sade. But my singing style is probably more like Gladys Knight. I mean, Gladys Knight for me is just like the ultimate soul singer, right? She's that person who you're just like, every time she sings, I get goosebumps. So, Gladys Knight, Lauryn Hill, and Shirley, you know, Shirley Caesar, just because she was who I literally grew up listening to. Like, if I heard the song No Charge one more time, it was just like, And I would say an honorable mention is probably Wu-Tang Clan, just because.
Yes, Wu-Tang. Yes.
Wu-Tang. Like, okay. I don't think I know they got credit, but I don't think they got enough credit as far as like, I think in terms of like the lyrics, Wu-Tang was extremely underrated.
Yeah.
They were because they were in the time when hip hop was still considered black music. Right. And so you heard on the black radio stations, and then it kind of crossed over. But when you listen to like, you're like, okay, just a quick thing, because there's this song that Ghostface did with Mary J. Blige, and I remember I was in college when this song came out, and it was like, all that I got is in you. I don't know if you remember that song. Ooh, I might be. You was a baby. I'm probably old. No, I'm just kidding. When that song came out, I listened to the lyrics the first time and started crying because I was like, wow, like it hit home on so many things growing up, like in the proverbial ghetto or whatever, and just like so many struggles financially and worrying about this and worrying about that. And I was like, whoa, this song, you know. So when Ghostface came out with that, it was like, yeah.
My other question is, being from the States and just growing up in such a rich culture, how was it to move? And what was really your impetus to move and kind of leave your life behind and leave, everything? What was the reason?
I still don't think people understood. It was supposed. My mom is probably still sitting like, why is she over in Italy? Like, what the hell? It started with I had a little bit of loot, and so I was like, okay, you know what? I was working a normal job at a pharmaceutical company, and I wanted to do backpacking across Europe when I was in college.
You're a hippie like that?
No, you know what it was? I love to travel, and yeah. But it would have been like, I don't know, like, yeah, just seriously a different version. But I was like, oh, I want to, so I was trying to convince one of my closest friends to do it. And it just turns out, you just have, again, you grow up in a certain area, you don't have the resources, and it's always a dream deferred, right? You always have to put it on the back burner and say, hey, I have to. So the first thing was getting up out of the hood, because no offense, I mean, people glamorize it, but and one of the things that annoys the hell out of me is like people glorifying, I mean, I have good memories of growing up in Newark, and that's, because I didn't, whatever, that's my childhood. Yeah. But I don't like when people, especially who've never lived in the hood, try to glorify it, like, and I'm just like, damn, if you only knew how we were trying to get out, we were trying to better ourselves. And so that was, for me, was like, okay, priority number one. So when I had my little job and all my other stuff, I was like, okay, I'm going to take a year off, and I want to see Europe as much as possible, and I'll have Italy as my base. And yeah, that was the plan.
Yeah, the plan.
Right. Yeah, but after, how it is. Yeah. The first year, you're really just
in love.
Yeah, you're in love with the country, but you're also trying to figure stuff out. You just the first year for me was like, okay, take a couple language courses, because I don't understand living in a country and not speaking a language. That's just me.
Yeah.
And so yeah, after my sabbatical year, I started doing music, because here I was like, wait a minute, y'all doing my music, so wait a second, let me come back and
let me roll up my sleeves. Let me just
let me clear my throat. Yeah, so once that got started, and then another year, it's a year, and then it turns into something else. So yeah, that's it.
Well, that's great. And then how I know for me living abroad, I have felt I felt a bit like I lost a bit of myself along the way, and I feel as though I'm on this constant journey to remain Lydia, despite like the pressures to assimilate, and despite the pressure to fit in and find friends and get work and all of this stuff. How have
Right.
you found that? And was there ever a moment, one, where you were just so tired, and two, when was the moment when you were like, okay, I'm me, and I found myself. I know who I am.
Right. You know, well, you already know the situation. Um, for me, being a person, you know, I love Italians. I love a lot of things about their country and their culture, but for a lot of things, I have to remind people, because I think once you speak the language and you've been here so long, they tend to forget that you come from a whole nother culture, like a
Yep.
whole nother.
Yep.
It's a lot of things. How do you stay grounded?
Yeah.
You know, how
Yeah.
do you stay grounded?
Still trying to find out.
You know what it is? I must say, like, a lot of things is like being able to call home and talk to my moms and be like, hey, Bev, what's up? You know,
Yeah.
call my mother, call my best friend, talk to you. You know, I'm always hassling you. I'm like,
I'm always
what's
hassling you.
going on?
Lifeline.
Okay, trying to figure out. My dad was an immigrant. He came to the U.S. in the 70s, and so probably early, yeah, and like from Haiti. And I never understood why. If you look at, for example, Newark, there's like a whole well, next to Newark, Irvington, there's like a whole section of Haitian folk, you know. And I'm like, well, why does everybody, if you're from the same culture, why do you necessarily hang out together? And now that I live abroad, I understand completely.
Yeah.
I think you, to keep yourself grounded, like I have a Cuban girlfriends. They hang out together. They have other friends, of course.
Yeah.
But it is so important to have someone who culturally you can relate to keep you in that space of, yeah, this is who you are. You know, you don't, you know, and know you're not crazy for not wanting to, you know, have this.
Up. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I also wanted to. I've started this new thing because last week, I don't know if you saw, but my last video was about the 3 craziest things that have ever happened to me as a musician. I felt that it was super important to start something where we share like some goofy things that have happened to us.
Let me
Story.
Girl, let me get my book. Wait, hold on. It's been so many where my face has been tight. Like, what can I say? I would say the craziest things where I was like, hold up. Okay, so I sing with a gospel group, and they're good people, and they become like my family, you know. So we went down. Now, first off, we were supposed to go to Sicily for a gig. We went down to Sicily. We were supposed to go like a couple days before Christmas. You know, gospel is real big here, especially around. Well, it's real big around Christmas time. And so we're sitting there like, okay, still waiting for plane tickets. The plane tickets came the night before, and so I was already angry, like
the night before. Okay.
Okay, so we went down there and we had to go to do a show in Palermo. Love me some Palermo, love the city. The show was great. You know, there was a little bit of some organization issues because this organizer, she was on some stuff. Like you had us come all the way down there. We had to take a flight, and we got to pay for our own lunch. You know, it was those. Okay, I'm like, wait a minute, sis. Now, okay, as you know, there's no contract in this whole thing, because if you ask for a contract, then it's like, oh, what, you don't trust me? No, I don't trust you, fam. I do
not trust you.
So this lady, she had us come down there. we did our thing. Everybody's happy. We're on the news. Yeah, group of Americans came and sang, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Day after, we're like, okay, well, the night of, we're like, so money. Oh, well, I told one of the group members that I would pay you guys. You can not get in the money right now. I'll pay you. First off, she wanted to pay us by check. Let me get my calendar and see what year this is.
Is it 1992?
When did I jump in my DeLorean?
Right.
And when did we go back in time? Because she had to check. She said, yeah, so I'll pay you guys by check, and it should be arriving in a couple days after you get back. So we got back to Rome. It's only an hour flight. Got back to Rome, and we waited. So you wait a month. Oh, this, that, and the other. We still waiting to get paid now. Now that was in 2018. So I don't need to tell you.
Not right now.
Yeah. This was from 2 years ago. I said, "Ooh, child, never again." Her name has been blocked off of any, obviously, and the only reason why I have not put her on complete blast is because one of the group members asked me not to, because you know me.
Oh yeah.
You know your girl. I'd be like,
light them up, fry them up on the internet.
Okay. Put up signs like beep, 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 beep. Okay. Oh, an omelet. Just what?
Fry it up.
Okay. I'd have lit her name up, seriously. But I was like, okay, I'm not going to do it. But obviously, she'll probably call us again for more work. And she tried it. And I was just like, I know she lying.
They always do that.
I said, girl, I know you lying. I said, never again. I don't want to see her name. I don't want to see her name written anywhere, ever.
That's insane. And 2018 till now, no payment has been made.
No, and it was always some excuse. Oh, the money's coming this week. Oh, we're waiting for the money. Oh, guys, I just sent the check out now. And I'm like, first off, again, the check, again, DeLorean, again, what year is this? Why are we waiting for a check? When, if you really wanted to send us money, then you should have just sent a bank transfer like everybody else does.
Okay.
First off,
okay.
2 years, sis. In 2 years, you could have taken that money out the bank, put it in a little sack, tied it to a pigeon, and had the pigeon fly to Rome. And we still
could have got caught in a lightning storm, had to regroup and
Okay. And we still would have got that money before now.
Right.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So this is one of those, one of those incidents.
So true. Well, I really had a great time chatting with you. Is there anything in the end of the video I want to know? Well, I'm going to insert some beautiful clip of Fatimah singing. Is there anything you want to tell our viewers, tell our listeners?
Just keep your head up. It's not an overnight thing. It's not a race. It's a marathon, right? You got to go slowly, as the Italians say.
Yes.
But you'll get, not all of us have to be Mariah Carey, who I love.
Not all of us want to.
And not exactly. And not all of us want to. It's important to, keep that energy and don't accept no. Don't accept the negativity. Exactly.
That stir my cocktail. Negativity.
Give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. Give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. Said I don't wanna leave you lonely. You got to make me change my mind. Baby, I got your number. Hey, I know that you got mine. You know that I called you. I called too many times. You can call me, baby. Call me anytime. You got to call me. To make me change my mind. Said I don't want to leave you lonely. You got to make me change my mind. I don't want to leave you lonely. You got to make me change my mind.
Well, I love you so much. I am just so happy that you came on the show. I'm so appreciative of you. I'm super appreciative of your voice. It is incredibly special. I really hope that you continue to just enrich our community with such a beautiful voice and such a beautiful take on classic and contemporary music. You truly are a phenomenal singer and a phenomenal person and a phenomenal friend.
So are you. Thank you, Elle.
Well, that's it, y'all. We gonna just do what it's doing, and then we're gonna end the video. Bang.
Excuse-moi, je t'entends